Okay, I truly admire all of you who still stay awake. Can you stretch your arm just like that for 1 second? Yes, good, very good. So, okay, thank you. So, anyway, with due respect to all my colleagues around and my speakers in this session before, you can forget everything and then just listen to my talk. This is an iFix operative section, and this is a single most important talk of this whole segment. Learn how to operate. All right, good. So that's why you have to pay attention to my talk. All right, yeah, don't sleep. So indication, you can forget everything you say. Remember, you're 10 years and older. Any form of rotation, angulation are not tolerated, so you operate on them. All right, that's one absolute indication. And you talk about this unstable and all that, but remember, TENS is either called titanium elastic nail system from Synthes or ASEAN elastic, elastic nail system. So this biomechanical principle is by symmetrically bracing two elastic nails bearing solid against inner cortex for your 3-point fixation. All right. And a little bit theory quickly, you have to traction and counter pull the muscles. So remember when you reduce apex volar, which is a supination injury, try to reduce the pronation, because this actually help you during when you put in your flexible nail later. And your apex dorsal, the pronation injury, so reduce your pronation. Remember this, it does help, yeah, not just theoretical. And AP view, lateral view, learn earlier on, they taught you already. So one very important is, while you're rotating, passing the nail, be careful of this. Don't do this corkscrew phenomenon by turning your nail so much when you turn more than 90 degrees, then your nail just getting corkscrew on itself, then you're in trouble. All right? And remember, you create this stability, translational stability, axial and rotational stability by having a very nice 3-point contact. All right? And yet it's not a plate, so it does give you a bit of micro motion. And remember, micro motion is good for healing. All right, so not your first degree kind of fracture healing. All right, and in the end, the whole principle, if you remember, you can forget everything. Remember this diagram. Your nail configuration should be try to look like this, okay? Because it stretches the interosseous membrane. Therefore, your supination and pronation range of motion will not be diminished. That's why you are treating radius ulnar fracture for. Different sizes. Entry points, radius. By and large, we do it either at the radial styloid site, at the radial side, or in the dorsal side. But they are all done from the distal to proximal. Whereas ulnar, you can either do it proximal or distal. But when you do proximal, you must insert at the radial side of proximal. Remember, because you want to create the seesaw configuration. And you can also do it from the distal. All right? Okay, and remember, for forearm, we try to do it like 2/3 of the canal diameter. Okay? Forget about post-op. Let me just go through this. And complication, you can read. I think I jumped forward this. Let's just go to how to do it. All right? Look at this. You put your guide on your eye film and where you're going to insert. But you see that you must make your incision distal to the where you're going to put your awl. Never make the skin incision at the same point. Otherwise, you'll be miserable. And remember, superficial radial nerve, the sensory component is there. You hit it, patient will get neuroma, not nice. And always the first compartment, the APL and EPP, very nicely seen. You look at them, avoid them, these two tendons. Nail size, you look at that, try to compare, remember, get about 2/3, so you just place on it to see radius issue, no issue, but ulnar is the issue, so you make sure don't make it too big. But remember, you must put it there and to compare, but never put different diameter nail size. And I told my resident, it pays to have a nice orthopedic surgeon tummy, so you get very nice bending of a C shape. It bend very well. All right, so 3 times the diameter of the radius. All entry point. The all must try to put as perpendicular as possible, but remember your radius is a little bit flare out. So actually it pays to putting the all a little bit aiming distal. You know, it's quite funny. Angulate a little bit distal, then you get perpendicular entry into the radius. All right, then after that, once you enter, you start angulate, so you create that. And then now you can start putting in your nail, and you come up gently, go upwards. Sorry. And I was just telling my resident, be gentle, next thing, pop, he push it out beyond the cortex. Okay, so it's very easy. Even though so gentle, you still can push it out. Then after that, you turn back and go up as proximal. And remember, I want to have a C shape, so I turn the radius nail facing the ulnar. And use the punch, you cut it, and where you cut a little bit, sort of like a bit distal, and then you can punch in and enter a bit more. Don't cut too short. And now the ulnar, for demonstration purpose, usually proximal ulnar easier to do, but II is more difficult, and that one you can actually do it. So I show it distal, which is not frequently done. So again, your beautiful sensory nerve forever accompanying you. So please don't incise it nor all into it. So you can nicely there, and you can see that. And the all again pass up into the ulnar, and gradually go up intramedullary. Then you go up, and you think you have passed it nicely. No, because remember, the apical injury not done properly, so you need to rotate them back. And you put the attraction and rotation into it. This is called rotation technique. And as you go up, and at the end, you must have a nice C shape. And then again, push out a bit and punch the ulnar into it, and give you the final configuration. Thank you.